Hey everyone. This is about my fifth night in a row trying to put together a coherent tutorial for this beast of a Neil Young solo, or a trio of solos to be more exact. In typical Neil Young fashion, it is a bit of a chaotic mess, this solo, and very difficult to teach and explain without things going way off the rails until my tutorial becomes just as much of a mess as the solo itself. That said, if at times I somewhat lose the plot and maybe things get a little bit hard to follow, I do apologize. This shit ain't easy to explain, believe me. Now, don't get me wrong, when I call this solo a bit of a chaotic mess, I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just Neil Young. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Aggressive, chaotic, jarring, and messy are his trademarks as far as soloing goes. And I absolutely love it. Every note he plays has a ton of passion and feeling behind it. You just know that he's playing his guts out in every solo he plays, despite the fact that he may not rise to any level that we may call technically brilliant. Doesn't matter. Technically brilliant does not a great solo make. If you're here to learn this one, you of course already know that. So let's get started. Now, we're just covering the solos to Southern Man in this tutorial. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube and elsewhere on how to play the chords and fills to Southern Man. So there's plenty of resources out there to learn the rest of this one. There are no tutorials for the solo. There is now. But as far as the chords go, there's only 4 or 5 chords in this: D minor, F7, G7, B flat, and A major, I think. Regardless, let's close in here a little bit and get at this again. All right, so the 3 solos to Neil Young's Southern Man. We're going to start in the neck pickup position, humbucker, if you have a guitar with a humbucker in the neck position, as Neil often used a Les Paul with a humbucker in the neck position. If you don't, that's fine. Get yourself in the neck position. We are working exclusively in the D minor pentatonic with one added note. In 2 positions, we're in standard tuning, by the way, 2 positions here at the 10th fret, pentatonic, adding this note, 12th fret high E, E note. It's dipping into the natural minor scale a little bit here, but this note from the natural minor is not used at all in this solo. So think of it as the D minor pentatonic with an added note. He does a lot of play with those 3 notes right there. And also down here at the 5th fret position in the D minor pentatonic. Lots of play in there as well. And that is where the solo starts. So I'm going to play through the first solo at a bit of a slower pace, and then we'll dig into it a little bit. And that's the first solo. So it starts with a slide into 5 on the A string, and then this lick. Now, the first couple of notes of this solo are pretty buried in the mix, as he's already started the solo, but they haven't turned it up yet. So they start they start raising the volume of the solo once he's already started. So the first couple of notes are a little bit buried in the mix, but they are there. And these are them. triple hit on 7 there of the D string, slide back to 5. The only little slightly tricky thing here is a bit of a string skip down to the 5th fret on the G. Right there. So you got to shift your index finger from 3 on the D down to 5 on the G. Now we've got a couple of pull-offs, 2 pull-offs from 5 to 3 on the D string. And then another one on the A from 5 to 3. And then finishing up on 5 of the A string. So up to that point. Now we've got a little small scale run here down the pentatonic. A little slide from 5 to 7 there. And then we're bouncing off the 6 of the B and the 7 of the G. Finishing up on the 6 of the B. And now we're going to now we're going to go 8/6 on the B string 4 times. Finishing up with a little ring, let that ring out just a little bit on the 6th fret of the B. And then 7, 5, 7 on the G. So up to that point. And now we've got, now we're into this. So this part here is played a little bit sloppily and it's a bit buried in the mix, but I think this is what he's doing. Hammering on 10 to 12 of the G, and then just right down the pentatonic. And then back up to 13 of the B. So it's a bit quick. And then back down to 10 of the high E. And now we're going to do 5 hammer-ons from 10 to 13. The first 3 kind of in time, and then the very last 2 are kind of double timed. And then 10 of the high E, 13 of the B, back to 10. So, coming from this. One more time. And now we're getting that note, that extra note that I mentioned. We're getting that into play now. So we're going to go 12, 13, 12, 13 twice. And then just ride that back, 13, 12, 10. And then up to 13 of the B, get back down to 10 of the high E. Now back up to 13 of the B, and then we're going to ride this back backwards from 13 to 12 to 10 3 times. And now we're going to hit 13 of the B again, and then we're going to ride that same little lick the other way, 10, 12, 13. And then the third time we play that little lick, we're going to hammer on that 13th fret of the high E 3 or 4 times. And then followed by 10, 12, 10, up to 13 of the B, back down to 10 to finish the whole little lick. And so up to that point from when we move up into this position, from this position. And now we're going to, we're moving into this lick. And that's just right up the pentatonic. So we're going to go 10, 13, 10, 13 on the E and B twice. And then just right up the pentatonic. And then when we get to the 12th fret of the D, we're going to roll back down to 12 of the G. And then off to 10. And then we're up on 10, 12 of the D string. That little lick there, just playing in that little area there. And now we're going to give a double stop bend on the 12th fret of the G and the B, and release it back to 10. And then we're going to start doing those pull-offs, very aggressive pull-offs. Pulling off 12 to 10 of the G string, but if you catch some of the B, you know, borrow the B string as well, and if you catch some of that, all the better. It just makes it more aggressive. And I think he does it like 12 times, and then the 13th time he bends it again. So and then a little pull off from 12 to 10, grabbing 12 to finish it up on the D. And then we're going to do the pull-offs on the D string from 12 to 10. And I think he does it like 9 times there, and then finishes up with a note on the 12th fret, hammers it back on to 12 of the D. So that whole little sequence, so where are we? Pretty much it right there. So let's try that one more time, a little slower. And now this little chaotic lick, which is not very complicated. It's just picking really fast. He's going 12 on the G string, 12, 13, 12, 10, and then up to 12 of the D. Basically that. But very quick. And then we're going to go 10, 12 of the G, and then a double stop on the 10th fret of the B and the high E. And then into this lick. Nothing too complicated there. Finishing up on 13 of the high E, and give that a little vibrato. And then this. Double hit. And that's just all right there in that pentatonic box. So one more time. And that finishes up the first half of the main solo, or the first solo. So let me run through that one more time at a slow speed, and then we'll move on to the second solo. that is the end of that one. So let's move on to the very chaotic second solo. All right, so let's have a look at the second solo, or the second half of the main solo. This solo is much more chaotic than the opening. The opening is pretty straightforward compared to this one, and I'm going to run through this one, and then we'll dig into it. So. If I did that the right amount of times there, but I think it's 12 of those jarring that end the solo. So a very chaotic opening to this. It's I'm going to play through it kind of slow, and so it kind of starts with an open G, hammering on to 2 of the G, and then grabbing 1 of the B. And then we're going to do 4 pull-offs from 3 to 1 of the B, and then grab the 2 of the G again, and then we're going to do 3 pull-offs of the B, grab the 2 of the G again, and then 1 more pull-off. But it's picked very fast. Kind of like that. So it's 4, 3, 1. 4, 3, and then we're going to go down to the high E string and do 3 more, and then pull off to the on the final one. We're going to pull off to the open E. So and at speed, it's kind of. Pull off to the open and then grab 1 of the high E, and then slowly. And then so then we're going to hammer on 1 to 3 and then grab 1 of the B string, and then grab 3 of the B string. And then we're into this. Hammer on 1 to 3 of the B. Open E. Pull off 1 to open. And then do it 3 more times. And then we're going to go open 1, 3 twice, hammered on. And the second time we're going to hit it twice on the 3rd fret. So up to that point. And then we're into this. So that is. Okay, we already did that, but. So we're pulling off 3 to 1 of the B string, I think like 6 times. And then finishing up on 3 of the B, and then an open G. Kind of a jarring note there. And then we're going to go 3 to 1 on the B. So up to that point again. And then we're going to go 3 to 1 of the B string, and then a little scale run. Sorry. So So that's 3 of the B, and then 1, 2, 3, a little chromatic run on the B string. Open E, 1, 3 of the high E. Finishing up on 1 of the high E string. And then we're going to go open E, 3 of the B. Nothing too complicated here, just all on the 1s and 3s. And that's the end of the solo. And then we're into these jarring 12 times, which finish up with a little double stop at the on the G and the B string at the 12th fret. So that is the 13th fret on the high E and the 16th of the B. And you hit those together. Some of these notes are in, like that note is in key. That one is not. So it adds for a very jarring note. Sounds like an off note, and they sound off as well, but they're both in the D minor pentatonic. But together they sound very jarring. So anyway, you're just moving down 3 places and doing the exact same thing. Back up, back down for like 12 hits, I think. And after 12, you just grab the double stop there on the G and B at the 12th fret and bend it. And that is the end of the solo. So I'm going to run through that slowly, and then we'll dig into the outro solo. Vibrato on that note. Times. And that is the end of the main solo. So now let's have a look at the outro solo. All right, the outro solo. There are timing issues in this one that are really difficult to get your brain wrapped around, and they're very difficult to teach and explain, but I'm going to do my best. We'll have the notes. Take these notes. If you can understand what I'm doing time-wise, great. If not, just take the notes and listen to the original recording and figure out the timing yourself, because it's really it's quite off at times. So the outro solo is coming out of an A power chord, just repeating A power chord. Sorry, I'm not quite getting that note all the way up. Then again, you know, it's Neil, so if there's dissonant notes here and there, that's quite all right. So we're going to start here. Well, let me play through it first. So. that just goes on till the end of the song. And as it fades out, and as he's fading out, he's back up here hitting a couple of those. So, all right, let's dig into this. So we're at the 10th fret on the high E and the 13th of the B, and doing double stop bends. So the first time we do 3, and then we move up 2 places and do 1. And then we move up 1 more place and do 5. The first 3 in time, the next 2, no, the first 2 in time, and the next 3 a little faster. Kind of like that, kind of like this. There, I'm hitting those a little bit better this time, so a little less dissonance. 3, 1, 5. 1, 2, 3. And then back it up again, and this time in this position you're going to do 4. And then 1 here and 1 here. So you're moving up to 12 on the high E and 15 on the B for 1. And then you're going to move it up 1 more position and do 1 more. And then you're going to move it up 2 more positions, and now we're at the 15th fret on the high E and 18 on the B for 4. And then you're going to move it up 2 more places, and you're going to do 8 quickly. And then finish up on the natural note at 20. On the, did I say 18? I meant 20. So when we're up here and we're doing 8 of those, that's 17 on the high E and 20 on the B. So you're doing 8. And then finishing up on the natural note at 20 on the B string. So I'm going to go through that one more time. 3, 5, 4, 1, 1, 4, 8. And again, one more time without me talking over it. And now we're into this. So 3 hits at the 20th fret on the high E, back to 17, and then up to 20 of the B for a bend, and then grab 17 of the high E. And you can hit them together, get some dissonance going on there. So coming out of the 8 bends. And now we're into some very tricky timing stuff. So, and now we're back into this section of the this position of the D minor pentatonic, using that note, that extra note a lot. So we're going to go 10, 12, 13. So when we hit that extra note on the 12th fret, we're going to do this 3 times, 10, 12, 13. The first time, we're going to have a little pause after we hit the 12th fret. And then we're going to do 2 fast ones. Pause. And then we're going to do 2 quick ones, 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 13. And on the third one, we're going to have a double hit at the 13th fret of the high E. Pause. And then just back that up 12 to 10, and then up to 13 of the B, back down to 10 of the high E. And now we're going to do that again. Now we're going to do it again, but this time the timing changes. And this time we're going to go 10, 12, 13. We're going to do, I think, 4 times this time. And the first time is fast, and the first time we hit the 12 on the high E, it's fast, and then the next 3 times it's going to be, there's going to be a pause, if you understand what I'm saying. Pause. Pause. Sorry, I'm having a hard time doing this while I'm talking. See if you can understand what I'm doing here. The first time fast. Again, first time fast. When I say first time fast, I mean 10, 12, 13. No pause after we hit the 12. And so the 4th time you do it, you're going to hit the 13th fret of the high E like 4 times, I think, 3 or 4 times. And then a bend, release, back to 10, up to 13, and then back to 10 to finish up the whole little phrase. So coming out of these 8 bends, there. I think I explained that fairly well. So, and then we're into this. And again, right in the pentatonic. Just repeating that little thing, 10 to 13, 10 on the E, up to 13 of the B, rolling down to 13 on the high E. Just repeating that twice. And then we're just going to work our way up the pentatonic. And then we're going to start hammering on 10 to 12 of the B for like 4 or 5 times. And then bend it. And then just play in those notes on the 10s and 12s a little bit. A little bend. And then we're going to start hammering on 10 to 12 of the D, like I think 6 times, 7 times. And then down to 10, back up to 12 of the D. And we're going to do that, I think, 3 times. 12 to 10 of the G, grabbing 12 of the D. Kind of like that. Let me play all that, what I'm just showing you in context. You see what I mean? This is difficult to explain because the timing is really screwed up. But right from when we, these bends. That is pretty much it right there. One more time. Right from those really high notes there. And now we're going to grab 12 of the G string and give that a bend, full step bend. and a double stop on the B and the E string at the 10th fret, and then a little pull off from 12 to 10 on the G, and then grab 12 of the D. And now we're going to back into these jarring notes again, but they're a little bit different. So the first 6 are barring the 10th fret on the G, the B, and the E. 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to grab, keep that there, but get your ring finger on the 12 of the G and do 6 more. 5, 6. And now we're down to the original 6 jarring notes in this position with our index on 10 of the high E and our ring finger up here on 13 of the B. For 6 more. And then you're going to get your finger up back on the G string for 1 more hit at the 12th fret. And then back to this again. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. See what I'm doing there? And that just fades out the song. And at the very end, he's back up here to at the very end, which is already fading out. So we are going to play the end of the solo. Fade out. And going to run through the whole outro solo at a slow speed, and then we're done. So, outro solo. And that, my friends, is how you play the solos to Southern Man by Neil Young. That is fun to play, and I hope you have fun with it. If you were looking to learn this solo, it's not technically difficult, but it's a lot of fun to play, and it's to play loosely and chaotic and with aggression. It's that type of solo, and it's just a fantastic solo. I love this solo, and some people call this a bad solo. I disagree. I think it's a fantastic Neil Young solo, and so good luck with it, and have fun with it, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.